Hey, everybody, welcome into Live with Greg. I am so thrilled to be talking to Rachelle Law. How's it going?
This is going great. It's good
You
to
know,
see you today.
so good to see you this Thursday evening. You have written several books, you're several books in. I'm just an infant in this whole author world, but I have learned so much from you. But more importantly, I'm so excited to talk about your story and the things that you've gone through and what made you want to become a published author. But before we even get into any of that, first off, how are you doing? How is 2022 going for you?
22 is going well. 2022 is going well. Right now, everything's going well. I'm going to say it like that.
I love it. I love it. When you think about life and thinking about, writing a book, what made you say, you know what, I want to write a book? Because a lot of people may want to keep their private things to themselves, but what made you say yes to wanting to do it?
It was after my son's death. My first book is about my son. He was my only son, and he died from injuries sustained in a car accident.
When you think about your son and what made you want to share your story, what made you want to share your story considering all the pain and the hurt that you have gone through, losing a child?
Yeah. I believe it was the idea of thinking that people would forget him. I believe that was the first thing. You just kind of think everybody's going to forget who he was and the things that he accomplished and how he touched so many people's lives. So that was important to me that I put it out there that, about my son, the things that he accomplished and the people that he left a mark in their life.
When you think about this particular book, here it is. It is My Whisper from God. Tell me a little bit about this book and what made you come up with this particular title.
This book is about a single mother raising her only son, the difficulties that we had as far as him being the only son and being raised by a single mom. The Whisper from God title came from when he went to college. He was a freshman in college at the time of his passing, and they called him Whisper. And I had never heard that until then. So that's pretty much where the name come from, because that's where they called him. They referred to him as Whisper. He had many nicknames, C-Dub and Lil Will, but the Whisper was very important. It stuck.
It stuck. And, when you think about your life and everything you've gone through, you have to be appointed, in my opinion, to go through different things in life and, more importantly, to share your testimony. So when you think about the purpose of your life, what has it been like for you?
Well, I was raised by a single mom, and I was someone that never even wanted children. So when I first started dating my son's father, she was totally against it. And I remember when I became pregnant, and she just kept coming by the house and saying, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. Now I knew what she was trying to get at, but I didn't want to be the one to say it. I wanted her to say, okay, are you pregnant? And then it came out, yes, I was. She was really disappointed because she didn't want to see me go down the path that she went down because she was a single parent. So that was hurtful to her. And she saw me going down the same path that she had gone to. So it was a little disappointing for her that I found myself in that situation, because she always reminded me that when her friends were in high school, back in which I was born, you couldn't be pregnant and stay in school. You just didn't stay in school. And she just remembered that when everybody was getting ready to graduate and go off to school, they were planning on their lives and where they would go. And she said, my life was already planned for me because I had become a mother. So that's pretty much how my life has been. Not the same as my mom's, because I had graduated high school, but it did kind of alter some things when I did get pregnant. It kind of put a lot of things on the back burner. I used to want to be an anchor. I wanted to be an anchor like you. I watched the Mary Tyler Moore Show all the time. I love me some Barbara Walters. And I have a girlfriend that we make jokes about it, but I really want to be an anchor. But because of the pregnancy, I had to drop out of college my freshman year. So a lot of things have always been like a setback. But I always came back and just continued to strive to do better, to improve things. But it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle.
When you talk about that setback, you could have just, stopped and not gone towards your dreams. But what made you keep pushing despite the one little obstacle in the road and having a kid early?
Yeah. When I was attending church, there was a pastor that decided to appoint me to a position. He didn't ask me, he just merely appointed me. And it was to be the youth director. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be no youth director. But, he appointed, I took the position, and it's just like God to give you what you needed. It was the best thing that I could have done. It allowed me to work with young people. I didn't even realize I had such a passion for young people until I got in this position. And sometimes, like they say, a lot of people see your gifting in other people that you don't even see it yourself. Wow. And I was fortunate to work with some wonderful young people. And my son was a youth at that same time. So it was just really a good thing to do and not even realizing that's what I was meant to do.
When you think about doing something you didn't think you were meant to do, how did that change your whole outlook on life at that point? Because, your pastor just comes up because, in the Black church, a lot of times we are voluntold what to do.
That's it. Absolutely.
And when did you learn in that season that this is what you were meant to do? Was it the first 6 months, the first year, a couple years in? When did you learn that it was the right thing for you to be doing in that season?
It was early on. It just became natural. I didn't even realize I had the skills to do it. It just was like one step at a time. I was studying the word. I was sitting under people that supported me. So it just kind of just fell into place. It was nothing, no pressure. It wasn't forced. It just kind of fell in place. And I was surprised until, the parents would say certain things and the students would they just kind of gravitated to me. And I was like, okay. And then we just went from one, Bible study, Sunday school. I was writing plays at the time. I used to write plays when I was a child. And that's what I started off doing. As a child, I would write stories and plays and put them on in the backyard of other people, of the neighborhood's house. So I began to write plays for the youth at church, and they went over well. We always had a packed house. The youth were phenomenal. So it was just one of those things that just flowed.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
When you think about, I was looking at your talking points that you wanted to go over tonight. When you think about, I am not that girl, what does that mean? A lot of people may say, Rochelle is that girl. Look at her. She's written several books. She's active in the community. She's doing so many things. But why do you say, I'm not that girl?
I say I'm not that girl. And I refer that to a lot of people always say that, girls dream of getting married. They want to have that house, 2.5 children. I am not that girl. I never desired to have children. I have 3. As my son is deceased, but I have 2 daughters. But that's not something that I wanted to do. I never, after watching my mother struggle so much, I never thought about being a mother. Mm-hmm. Never. And that was the best thing that God could have given me were my children.
When you think about being a mother, what did motherhood teach you? What has it taught you?
To listen, to listen, and listen. And a lot of times I'm one of those people that likes to fix things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when I would deal with my children, they'd be like, Mom, I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen. So I learned that listening, and it's so much you can learn from kids that you don't even realize that you're learning from them. They're just it just all comes from listening. My voice is starting to crack, but it's been a journey with them. They have taught me so much. I've tried to be a good mother. I've tried to do the right things. In some areas, I may have failed as a youth director. Sometimes I believe I may have given more time to the youth than my own children, even though they were youth at the same time. And I had to catch that because I didn't want to have them miss out on what I was pouring into everybody else. So that's what I've learned from it. Just listen, be supportive, and just to encourage them along the way.
When you think about 2020 really just changed the outlook of so many people's lives. So many people have lost, parents and kids and other people in their family. Yeah. When you think about grief, because you've gone through this personally, losing a child, what advice do you have for other people out there when they're dealing with grief? So many people like to grieve in different ways, and a lot of people don't like to seek, help or talk to anyone. Considering everything you've gone through with your own loss, what would you recommend people to do when it comes to grief?
To be honest with themselves. A lot of times people tend to behave like they believe they should behave when they've lost somebody. We have this format to think that this is how you should act when someone's passed away. But you have to acknowledge your own feelings, acknowledge how you're really feeling, give yourself time. You don't have to grieve in a certain speed. You don't have to go any faster than someone else did. Don't compare yourself to somebody else that has grieved a loved one, because your experience is different, completely different. And it's just trusting in God and knowing that He is in control of everything. He's sovereign. And whatever's going on, it's not like it popped up and He didn't know anything about it. He knows everything. He's omniscient. He's omnipresent. So He knows. And you just have to really trust and stand on your faith. I'm not saying that it wasn't easy, but I had to continue to draw closer to Him. The closer I drew to Him, the easier it got.
When you talk about life lessons, you've written 3 books. The next book I want to talk about is You Are Beautiful. Tell me a little bit about this book. What made you want to write this book? And this book is unique because it is the hidden consequences of domestic violence that linger. Tell us about it.
Okay, I am a survivor. I was married in February and I was divorced in October. My marriage was over. I woke up on a pool of blood, could not recognize myself in the mirror. And so this book is about my story and my journey as a survivor to domestic violence. And I remember even when I got married, as I was standing downstairs to get my dress on, I got stuck with my hands above my head. My mother did not try to help me get in that dress. She literally backed up. I mean, it's not like the signs weren't there, the red flags were there, but I was just trying to not be a single mother, raising my kids by myself. The flags were there. A lot of times we see the flags, we just ignore them. But that is what You Are Beautiful is all about. And we have a retreat that's coming up in March 25th and 26th, You Are Beautiful. And it's I have a foundation called How Come How Long. And it was established to bring about the awareness and to educate people in those situations, to give them the tools and resources needed to get through a situation of this magnitude.
You know, when you think about your own journey in going through domestic violence, so many people see people go through domestic violence every single day. For people watching tonight, what advice would you give someone who may be going through domestic violence, or a family member or friend who sees someone going through this? What would you advise them to do to help the person to see they need help and helping them to get the help they need?
The first thing that is very important, and I say this pretty much with everything, I just mentioned it earlier about listening. A lot of times girlfriends don't want to listen. They have to listen without judgment. You know, we kind of tend to think that there's a certain type of person that is domestically abused, but there's no specific type. You can be educated, you can be rich, you can be poor. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't care who you are. It's all about recognizing the red flags and being able to talk to someone about it. Going to a counselor. I remember when I was in that situation, I had talked to someone at church, and they were trying to tell me, well, you need to just stay in there, you know, the God. And I quickly told them, God wouldn't want me to be in this, because all the times it's not the person that put you together, you know? So you have to really listen when someone comes to you, or you see someone going down their path and you see that they're having obstacles, or you realize that they are abused, because it's not always seen by a bruise on the face or a broken bone. It's emotionally, financially, mentally. So it's all about listening to someone when you see that there's some signs that you see, or you feel something's not quite right. Listen to them so that they can sit and tell you what's going on, and then you can help. But you can't help if you're judging them. You have to be able to step back and not judge.
That is so true. The retreat coming up March 25th, 26th, where is it taking place? How much does it cost? And what's the goal for you? What do you hope people take away from this retreat?
Okay, it's going to be held at Unity Village in Unity, Missouri. And that's really outside of Kansas City. And it's going to be, we have some wonderful speakers, some counselors. And the goal of this is to provide tools and resources to women that are struggling, or even people that are in counseling positions to help other women. Or, you know, men can be abused as well, but this retreat is specifically for women. And the price is $200. It's overnight. It's Friday night, Saturday night. It includes all your meals. It includes the workshops, swag bags, and there are single tickets if you can't make it or if you can't stay overnight. We have single tickets starting at $110 for both workshops on Friday and Saturday. We're going to have some fireside chats, and we have a phenomenal keynote speaker. So sometimes there are people that are not in this situation. So we are allowing people that may have somebody they want to send. So if you want to sponsor somebody, you can always go to Eventbrite or to my website, which is RachelleCole.com. And that's RachelleCo.com. And you can register there, either one, or that or Eventbrite.
You know, when I think about everything that you've gone through in your life, when we were talking about some things you wanted to talk about tonight, you also talked about your fascination with glass.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I didn't ask you that off air because I wanted to wait until you said it here. So tell me about your fascination with glass.
Well, it's just, I love beautiful glasses. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I had, let's say it like this. I had a beautiful glass one time. Beautiful glass, because I collect glasses, wine glasses. Mm-hmm. I'm not really a drinker, but I think they're so pretty. And it broke. And I spent so much time trying to gather the pieces to put it all back together. And even if I was able to put it halfway back together, there was still going to be some fragments missing. Mm-hmm. And that's and stop trying to keep it. That was me trying to keep relationships that aren't any good, or trying to keep other things that aren't working. It's okay to let that piece of glass go, because it's never going to be the finished product that you had before. So it's just really something about glasses. I don't look at it as halfway full or half empty. I feel that my glass is overflowing. I'm always trying to look at it, be optimistic about it. So if you ever find yourself in a situation being broken, just remind yourself that no matter what you've gone through, you can become a new you. It doesn't have to, be the old person that you were. Just start out on a new journey and pick it up from there.
When you think about everything you've gone through, you also wrote a third book, and I want to bring this up on the screen here. This is a book called Beauty's Best, or
Beast.
Beast, excuse me, I'm sorry. The journey chosen for her. Tell me about this.
Right. This is a journey of cancer. My mother was diagnosed with uterine cancer. And the name of it is The Journey Chosen for Her, because we don't always choose the journeys we take. Sometimes God gives us the journey. He doesn't ask us if this is what we want to do. He gives it to her. And this is what he did. And then this story is like my mother's love story along with her journey, because she had loved the same guy her entire life, from her, at least when she was younger. But they always kind of missed each other. And then when they finally decided to date again, she was diagnosed with cancer. So she had to battle cancer, and within 2 years, she had passed away. So it was really hard on all of us, really, and her husband, because they waited as all those years had passed, and they missed out on the opportunity to share it together. But they did get to finally be together. So it's like a love story, but it's with cancer. So it's a struggle. It's deep, but it's my dedication to my mom and her journey of cancer and finding the true love of her life.
Oh, I love that. When you think about all the books that you've written over the past several years, are you shocked to know that you're an author? But more importantly, for people out there watching who would like to become an author one day, what advice do you have for them when it comes to sharing their story and truly allowing themselves to come out on paper?
If you thought about it, then you should write it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that you need to do is just begin writing. Don't try to edit while you're writing. Just begin writing. A little here, a little there, and before you know it, you'll have a book. So if you thought about it, that means you have an ideal. That ideal can become a book. All you have to do is sit down, let that pen hit the paper, and begin writing.
Oh, I love that. And when you think about the people that you've met along this journey, tell me about this picture. And you got a special note from this particular person.
Yes, this is Nikki Giovanni, and she is just phenomenal to me. She's unapologetic. I met her when I was on the campus of the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and she saw my books. She purchased my Whisper and Beauty's Beast. And then maybe 2 weeks later, I received a card in the mail. She had literally sent a handwritten letter to me. Now, this is Nikki Giovanni. So keep in mind, I am taken off. I'm just set aback from this because I can't believe not only had she purchased my book, but she had sat down and wrote me a letter and is reading it. And the letter, it tells you that she's reading it. So that has been such a treasure to me, because she is just not just any old Joe. That is Nikki Giovanni, and she is reading my books and has written me a letter.
Oh, that is so sweet. You know, when I think about, you know, her taking the time to write a handwritten note to someone,
Yes.
that's just truly amazing. And it shows the personal, you know, attachment to who they're talking to. And I think that was really sweet for her to do something like that.
Yes.
On top of Nikki Giovanni, you've also had a number of people who have been a part of your journey, who supported you along this journey. What has it been like to see so many people stand in lines to get your books and to be able to experience so many different chapters and phases of your life?
It's above and beyond anything I ever could have asked for. I never realized that when I wrote the book that I would have people lined up and would meet people. You know, Alfred Powell, he has a book out there. Sabrina Fulton, I met her at a conference down in Florida many years ago, right after she lost her son. So it's just been it really has opened the door for me to meet a lot of wonderful people. And those are my beautiful daughters. I'm so blessed to have them. They are my support team. They're always there for me no matter what's going on. They are my support team.
And, you know, when you think about other folks like this gentleman here, you know, what advice would you give to people out there? I know somebody's probably listening to your story thinking, oh my God, she is just so, you know, open. And, you know, what do you say to those people who are nervous about sharing their story? Because, you know, you've talked about, you know, your mom in a book, you talked about your son and his passing and the things that you went through on top of your own personal situation with domestic violence.
Do it afraid. Because when we get too comfortable, that's where our dreams go to die. Mm-hmm. So you have to step outside of your comfort zone and just know that it's okay. You're not the first one to do it. You won't be the last. Just trust yourself enough to know that you can do it. You can do it.
I love it. For people watching tonight, as we wrap up, where can we get your books and all that good stuff?
Okay, my books are all on Amazon, or you can visit my webpage at RachelleCole.com. That's RachelleCo.com. And I'll be happy if you go by my website. I'll be happy to sign it for you, but feel free to go to Amazon. They're all available there.
And also, we got to reiterate the conference coming up, the retreat. Give us that information again.
Yes, that's the You Are Beautiful retreat, going to be held March 25th, 26th at Unity Village. We pray that we will have you in attendance. Anybody that wants to come, if you don't want to come, but you would like to sponsor someone, feel free to sponsor someone. You can reach me at my website, yes, mm-hmm. Or you can reach me on IG or Facebook, Rachelle Law.
Sounds good, Rachelle. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for talking to me tonight. And I just want to say publicly, thank you so much for the advice you gave me in my whole journey writing a children's book. And, you know, one of the first things I remember you saying is, you know, make sure you have plenty of water at the book signings and other things, just the small little things. I really appreciate it. And of course, I hope to have you back soon. Enjoyed the conversation tonight. And again, check out her website. Again, I'm going to put it in the post here on social media. Buy her books, go to Amazon. Also, if you're in the area to go to the conference or even sponsor someone. It's going to go for a good cause. Rachelle, it has been a pleasure talking with you tonight.
Thank you. And congratulations. I look forward to getting my book on Jeremiah's New Beginning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Blessings to you. Blessings to everyone tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.